It's one thing like the winner you get the title, but you gotta fight John Jones. That's not the prize. That sucks, dude. Like that, he's a very respectful, kind of straightforward.
Yeah.
This straightforward guy, and now this dude's cutting promos, wrestling promos. Shit.
What do you mean by cutting wrestling promos?
I mean, like it's not it's just a little more. It's just a little more charismatic, a little more, just like cartoonish. It's more fun.
Is it that we haven't seen in the UFC before? So you saying
people kind of do it, but it's a lot of it's corny, man. And you know what? It is corny to have your own lines like already, kind of like ready to go and ready.
Oh, you think it was scripted? Well, not scripted. You think he had?
Oh yeah, scripted.
From his
he had something like that ready to go.
Improv,
something
like it wasn't improv like a good chill song.
No, chill son, and that stuff's probably prepared too. Like
that,
you know,
just
like
premeditated. You think people like that just sit around and think like, what's a good
they don't do it for. It's not like they sit there for a while and do it, but they have something ready to go. Yeah, and I don't know. I liked it. That was good, man.
They have writers?
Oh shit! I don't know, man.
I mean, I wouldn't pet it. Okay, who in the UFC needs a writer right now? Like what major stars? What major stars need?
What major stars need a writer?
It sounds kind of cruel to say, but like, yo, what major stars need writer? Opinion.
Yeah, as of right now, everyone except for Michael Chandler. As of right now, Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Israel Adesanya. Everyone else needs a writer.
Everyone else needs a writer.
Also, this is not cutting a pro wrestling type freaking promo is not a necessity. It's just a bonus. It would be nice, but they're not all going to do it. These guys are fighters, man. These guys are zen and ninjas, respectful.
But with the
more
UFC,
so.
It's like they it's kind of that perfect world sport, which is why I keep telling people they gotta watch this. You know, it's because like this is it's such a uncanny. I don't want to say uncanny, but the mix up, the feeling is the same, and yet the action is legitimate. You know that to me kind of blows my mind. Like the fact that it's
dude, it's just
it's basically WWE, but the guys are really going all out at each other.
For the longest time, I'm sure it's like kind of still their slogan, but UFC's slogan has always been as real as it gets, and this is it, man. I mean, you're watching this this planned fight that was, in a perfect situation is 6 months, 3 months in advance planning, 6 weeks into training, all into like, a 15 or 25-minute fight put all together. That's why this sport is so intriguing.
Yeah, it's months of build up and just anticipation, and in certain cases for you, like anxiety, moments of anxiety. Speaking of anxiety,
I'm the one. I have crippling, not crippling. Let's not be dramatic, but I get anxiety before these fights. I get anxiety day of the weigh-in, or when I know that, if it's a Saturday before the fight, I can only imagine what these fighters have to go through,
They do talk about that though. Like a lot of fighters, well, someone like GSP, for example, he was always on record being like, he's always said he was always nervous before a fight, which kind of blows my mind because he's, regarded as maybe top 3 all time. GSP, and that's a guy that's susceptible to nerves and whatever.
Dude, yeah, no. Matter of fact, GSP, he's actually he's the majority of how fighters feel. Everyone is they're all nervous. Cowboy Cerrone, the guy, like the most active UFC fighter every year, he even admits that he doesn't even enjoy it. Nobody enjoys fighting. That's scary, man. You're walking in there, no matter how good your skills are, you're locked in a cage with another person,
Yeah, it's. Is it comparable to any other sport though? Because in basketball, I don't think, unless there's never the sense of being nervous.
Yeah, because it's like tennis, but no contact. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that because that tennis is a one-on-one game.
Dad would have something to say about that. Oh, so Anxiety, man. Talk about anxiety. Buying this pay-per-view was such a mix of bag. I was furiously texting you. After
Yeah.
you called me first and you were like, hey man, like, were you able to buy the fight? I'm like, yeah, why? And you were basically, well, it's making us pay the $89, like 89.99, which I'm assuming is either a subscription fee or
Yeah.
like a non-subscribers fee to buy the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah. There was a way around it, and it was the reason why was because um my friend he wasn't logged in at the time, but he was logged in. I think there's just some glitches with the site. It was a mess, dude. And I have a theory that the reason why you were able to buy it because you're smart and responsible and you prepare, so you probably bought it a few hours before the event.
No, I bought it a day before, just a day before.
See, exactly.
I kind of anticipated that something of that hitch would happen, but I didn't expect an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of the main card. You know, we're talking Amanda Ribas. That whole fight was not shown. That whole
Oh
fight, I
really?
think it was that next fight with between uh uh Marudov and Sanchez that they actually got their shit together, because it was, I was looking at, Twitter. Megan Anderson tweeted something out about it. A lot of fighters were tweeting about it. And that's when I knew, okay,
Yeah.
this is not a good look for ESPN. Like, and the whole, my underlying theory is they want to push advertising and marketing so bad that their optimized system that was maybe optimized for wasn't, like, it was bombarded when I mean, this is a Conor pay-per-view. This is the first Conor pay-per-view in ESPN Plus, right?
Um, maybe.
Was Cowboy Cerrone a thing?
Well, I don't remember just because I didn't see it. I didn't order it. I was at a bar. I watched it at a bar, so I don't know. I don't know if this was the ESPN era.
And you have to imagine, for a lot of people, this is their first time, like, this is their first time actually shelling out money, especially all that trash and all that trash talk that Dana was talking about streamers.
Dana,
Streamers.
he like that was some of the best uh BS work that I've ever heard. He's like, we got him, and we're waiting on him. We hear his phone calls,
I mean, you saw
and
the
if he does it, when he presses that button, when he presses that play button, we got him. We're gonna sue him. As soon as Dana was like, we hear his phone calls, like, oh Dana, oh you're the FBI now all of a sudden.
Yeah, you're the CSI intelligence. They don't
Yeah.
even got
Yeah. I call BS. Obviously, Dana gave a very vague kind of argument. He was like, "We found him." Like that could be anyone, of course. And then that'll kind of put an idea in everyone's head. Obviously, he's not going to go after the people that are downloading, that are watching the stream. He's going to go for people that are providing it. And dude, there's some top notch nerds out there that can do it. And you're always going to have your streamers, but most importantly, the people that are complaining about how they couldn't get it, these are people that wanted to pay for it.
Yeah.
These people were ready to pay for it. I can't imagine how much money they might have lost on this. We're sitting there. No, it's not Dana's fault. It's definitely I don't know whose fault it is, but he doesn't run the ESPN Plus app. This is I'm with my friend. First of all, this is the first. I think this is the first pay-per-view that's $70. Normally they're 60.
Yeah, no,
so they upped the price.
69.90.
Yeah,
you got to figure with tax, that's going to go up at least like $5 or $10 at least, depending on the state.
But there's I think like second to last fight in the prelims, and we're just sitting there trying to buy this pay-per-view, and it's just the site is just crashed.
Oh, so for you it was crashed. For me, it wasn't crashed. But what would happen is, my account was logged in, and I would try to go press play, and then it would just, pay-per-view. Oh, so you would say, like, do you want it in Spanish or do you want it in English? And it's English, obviously. Clicked on it, and then it would just show me that goddamn poster. Like, as hyped as I am about it, it would just the poster was there, and it would load, and it was like, oh, there was that tinge of like, oh, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do it? Nope, it's still that poster. And then it went completely black. Yeah. And then Dana White, like, after the post conference, he said, "Oh, like it was only a problem on the West Coast." I'm like, bro, Indiana.
Like... First of all, Indiana or Chicago, whatever, like they call it the Midwest. First of all, if anything, that's the East Coast. If anything, that's the East Coast, okay? But they just say the only thing West Coast about Indiana is It's in the Midwest, and the word West is in it. Come on now.
Never figured
Get
out
out of
why,
here.
but at this point, I'm not really like. Yeah, I go to a
Hey,
Midwest college.
it's been that way for a long time. We can't. Yeah, we're not going to argue it. Like this is, maybe next time if we
It's East Coast time, real time.
yours East Coast time, Chicago Central or Illinois Central time. But you know what? We can save this topic for the geography portion of the Crunchy Take when we really don't want any listeners.
Geography.
The geography segment of the Crunchy Take.
The geography on Conor's body got laid.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
I think it was a bad omen to begin with, man. The fights, the pay-per-view not working, and then me not being able to find proper 12 despite going to 3 different freaking alcoholic stores, including the store I work at. You guys found it, right? You guys found it at Trader Joe's?
I found it at Trader Joe's in Berkeley, man. Good old Berkeley, California. There was like 12 bottles just sitting there, and I was hoping that at least, I don't know, maybe people in Berkeley don't care about Conor. Can you imagine? Like, we're not going to know the sales exactly for proper 12 whiskey on Conor fight day, but it had to be gone up quite a bit.
It must have around my area because I couldn't find. We went store number 1. I could have grabbed it a week ago.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like, this $30. I think I'm gonna save it. Sweet. Have my
$30.
I mean, one of them.
It was $20.
$20 for you guys?
Yeah, the bottle's 20. I think it's $20 everywhere, unless you go to like a freaking liquor store or something. They usually mark up their prices. But you got a good substitute though. I saw you ordered. You got yourself a nice little bottle of a Snoop Dogg wine.
19 crimes is just basically a California dry. It was not bad though. It was just a dry. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No, man. Look, I'm not one to critique people's bodies, or I shouldn't. I'm the last person that should be doing that. But I'll say his last fight at lightweight was against Khabib. He looked a little. He always looks. He always has he's always fit and all that, but he just looked a lot softer. His body looked a lot softer than it normally does. And then Cowboy he shredded. This fight, he looked shredded. I was like, man, this guy's ready. This guy is.
Both of them did. That's why we had the podcast I was gonna post when Zuffa decided to do something about it. But Conor, man, he didn't look. He looked better than I thought he's ever looked in terms of his physique. Would you?
He looks
like this was like as ripped. I wasn't a fan of him going bald, despite the fact that bald hair.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. If you here, I want you, when you have the time, I want you to go. This is what all the great athletes, and I'll compare it to I'll even compare it to Michael Jordan. Like they have this awareness about themselves that they kind of have to change things up, even if it's something visually or their appearance. If you look at every single Conor McGregor fight, his hair is different every single time. His facial hair, the what he does, his look is different every single time. Every single time, look at it, because like for example, his first fight, his hair was just, I think, regular short. The fight after that, he did the first time he fought Poirier was in braids. When he fought Mayweather, his hair was not as short as it is now, but it was like just a little bit of hair, but like looked mostly bald. Eddie Alvarez was nice, clean cut. Every single fight, his look is a little different, and I feel like the real great athletes have that awareness to do that. Like if you look at Michael Jordan early in his career, he had a little bit of hair. He did the wristband on his forearms. Later on in his career, it was on his elbow, and he had the freaking calf sleeve thing. That calf sleeve doesn't do anything, but that's kind of You got to change your look with the time, just to. If you see a picture like he has, Michael Jordan has a different show every year. If you see a picture, exactly. You can almost tell what year that was. With Conor McGregor, when you look at him, you can almost tell exactly which fight that was where he looked like that. I don't know. That was kind of a weird.
I definitely
tangent.
think it's a handful of athletes that have that kind of hold, because you don't. I mean, case in point, Khabib looks the same. The only constant is he wears that popper cut whenever he wins. Like that's a signature.
Yeah. Yeah, they look
Or like
they look exactly the
someone
same.
like LeBron, he's kind of gone back and forth between baggy shorts and then really kind of rolled up, which is kind of
Yeah.
vogue in the NBA at the moment.
Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has always done, tight above the knee, black shorts, no show socks, black shoes. Like he always did that. He was consistent, but there's some awareness with certain great athletes that think to do, like they're thoughtful about things like that.
He's definitely up there with one of them. All right, Conor McGregor, Dustin
Yeah.
Poirer, UFC 257.
Mhm.
To me, man, this is the beauty of MMA. I keep posting about this. I'm thinking about making some kind of compelling kind of why you should watch MMA things, because it's exactly like stories like this.
Yeah.
The absolute
I don't even
punches of monkey. But you thought in your words, we were texting and you said Justin Gaethje was a bigger monkey wrench, and I kind of agree with you. But
oh yeah,
as far as hype, like I've never seen. It's kind of like you texted me this morning the picture of them marketing, even post marketing of the fight, and it shows,
that made me sick. Yeah.
Dustin just like being rocked by Conor.
It was the only time that he took a legit Conor left hooker. Conor has that left hand,
He landed
which is no, but like nothing clean. Like there was one that he landed really clean, and then later on Poirier even admitted, he was like, dude, if I took another one of those, like I might have been out, because he really hurt him with it. But either way, like, come on now, you have the build to the fight, and it's all Conor McGregor, and it makes sense, fine, because that's your cash cow, that's your superstar. But what is it called? The thing is it called a thumbnail that you click on? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know technology terms, but come on, it's that the picture that they use is Conor landing that left hook. Why not just have a picture of like where they both kind of strike at the same time? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
But that's marketing. It's like Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey. They didn't talk about Amanda Nunes. They could have done so much with her, but instead that you have this huge poster of both of them, and it says the words "she's back," and they're not referring to Amanda Nunes when they do that, and that was kind of upsetting too. It's frustrating. They put all their money on all their chips on their superstars, which makes sense, but also come on, be a little more respectful.
Yeah, it is what it is. So what's your assessment of what happened? And like this is another one of those things where everyone had like a foregone conclusion. Me, not so much. But like,
what do you mean?
Meaning, as with every Conor fight, even with Khabib, I was pulling for him. Everyone in the room, I had a friend over who'd never seen him fight like live before, so it's just like, come on, Conor, and it's, I don't know, he has that draw to him. Whether you like, I don't particularly hate Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier is great, but just seeing how fit Conor was, just the build up to everything, all the there were no red flags in terms of his physique or whatnot at all, and he looked great. To me, I think that first round, I think would honestly go to him.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps. It's
I can smell the Conor depression here. I can smell
the depression. It's just first of all, like, you can't even. It's not. Dustin Poirier is more than a capable person. He's an elite. He's one of the elites of the lightweight division. He's, without someone like Khabib, he'd be champion. And he's a title contender even now. But it's just like, when you have that level of superstardom that Conor McGregor has, it's like you just have to win. Like, if you don't win, it just kind of a little bit goes away. And I'm not really picking the fights out of who I actually think is going to win. Even though I thought Conor McGregor was going to win, but you kind of have like, it's this crazy ride that we're going through when you have a superstar in their prime and we're living through it and we're watching it. It's like you have to win. Yeah, Poirier has all the skills to do it. McGregor has the skills to do it, to win, but you just gotta you have to come through, and then like that's the expectations that you have when there's obviously people that are like they want to derail the train, or see an upset, but like we're not gonna.
I didn't want to see an upset. I wanted. But
We just
was it an upset though? To me,
no, it's not
objectively,
an
it's not
upset.
an upset.
It's an upset as far as if you want to talk about betting lines. Yeah, it's an upset,
Mm-hmm.
but um, it's not an upset like Conor shouldn't be ashamed of himself because he lost to Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is elite. You know, like the only place where he's not elite is he's not the name that Conor McGregor is. Nobody is the name that Conor McGregor is. So when you have that, like you got to win out of not by skill or drive or what. You just have to win. You have to win to keep this momentum going. Because everything after this is huge. Because like, and we'll probably get into it. But now what? Now what does he do after this? We know what Poirier is going to
I
do.
have
He's
an
fighting for a
antidote.
title.
Well, oh, that's the so many things there. Okay, what does he do after this, right? Conor McGregor. I have an antidote that I think I have a bold prediction as to what is next on McGregor, and I think that would
Okay.
make a lot of fans very happy.
Okay.
Before we even get to that,
Yeah.
the whole this was a weird
Wait, sorry to cut you off, but the way that you said that, you're like, before we get to this, I thought you were gonna say, before we get to this, we gotta shout out one of our sponsors. If you ever,
let me do that.
if you ever,
Let me actually try to shout out a very generous subscriber who this was a on my way home from a event that I played for. We were talking and he asked me what I did. Yeah, I did this and that, but I'm also, trying to become a sports journalist. And he he's like, oh, you have like a podcast? And I was like, yes. And at the end of our, it was basically an Uber driver. And at the end of our thing, he asked specifically what it was, and then on Spotify and on YouTube, he subscribed. So thank you, Zach, if you're listening. I do appreciate it. No, I don't have a sponsor.
shout out to Zach.
Yep.
Hey, we'll take it, Zach.
Really, really
we'll take it.
He became subscriber number 21. I really do appreciate that.
20, hey, it's already a milestone to get to number 20. Okay, but 20 plus, moving on. Oh, you're moving on, dude.
Yeah, but hey, again, I appreciate people who listen.
Number 21. That's only 20 subscribers after Tom, baby. We're good.
Tom number 1. So this pay-per-view had a looming presence. Just you would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for when Khabib was winning the fight. Because there's whole time, if we're gonna talk lightweight, Khabib is just like in the background, like if these guys don't impress me, I have no reason to come back. LeBron James has this saying, that you should keep the number one thing the number one thing, and for all of Khabib's life, that's been fighting. That's been just like combat sports. That's been training, and I don't know if I was gonna use this past weekend as like a gauge to whether or not he was actually gonna come back. But now, like especially with this past weekend, I don't think fighting is his number one. I really think his number one thing has shifted from being a fighter to actually being like, he's his own promoter and, a businessman. He wants to be he wants to open farms. He wants to do whatever. What do you think though? Like as far as Khabib is concerned with the future of, because he has time to like think it over, but that just looks like a guy that doesn't want to.
Well, he first off, he's already had time to do it, and it's not about cutting weight. Khabib's life has always been and all that, and being the best, but his priority, even above that, is his family, and he made a promise to his mom.
And it's double crossing that.
It's hard to do that, and then like literally, there's nothing. The guy he doesn't need money, right? And then the only thing, what can Dana White throw at him? It's just a bunch of money. That's not gonna intrigue him. He's not gonna come back for no matter what the payday was. He probably made that payday already just fighting, Conor, because that's the highest pay-per-view buy rate ever. Yeah, like 2.4 million. But what's gonna get him to come back? The only thing that we know that we can think of that'll get him to come back is like GSP. GSP's not coming back.
GSP's not coming back.
Conor McGregor, Khabib is not. He's not gonna fight Conor or Poirier. He destroyed both of them. Like you can say that Conor and Poirier are you can call them MMA Eskimo brothers. I don't know if I use that in the last podcast, no one will know because that's not being uploaded.
Yeah, that was a joke that was circulating this whole weekend. It was like, ton of my friends were just like circle, circle. It was their
They
Instagram.
said that. Well, look, I'm gonna need my credit, okay? Because I came up with that, believe it or not. But yeah, McGregor and Poirier, they're asking more. Like, no matter how Khabib doesn't want to fight any of them. Michael Chandler is not a clear cut number one contender. Khabib doesn't want to fight Michael Chandler. Who's he gonna fight?
Yeah, and that's kind of what sucks about Conor losing is that whole there was a glimmer, there was a kind of faint glimmer that if Conor was dominant again, that Khabib would concede because he legitimately said to Dana White hey, like if I'm impressed by what I see, if I'm impressed, think about the implications of if I am impressed by what I see, I'm going to come like I might come back. That's just him basically implying any Dana White that can collude it. Basically, he's just so many levels above.
I have another point to that too. Okay, because when did Khabib? Let's say Khabib really actually said that. Mm-hmm. Did he say that when he had that one-on-one meeting with Dana in that white room where it was just them two, closed doors? Remember that?
Well, there's two parts to that. It's what he said in that room and then what he said after the fight. It's two of them fairly well.
Okay, well, I don't know what he said after the fight, but I know that something that maybe you and I can, or anyone can really relate to. You'll always have somebody that kind of eggs you on or pressures you or tries to convince you to do something, and you just think of something to say that'll kind of put that person that's pressuring you at ease temporarily, just so they can kind of shut up about it. You ever do that? Like you have a friend that asks you to do this, like, come on, let's do this, it'll be fun, and then you'll say, you know what, I'll think about it, because that'll cut the conversation to maybe the next day. Maybe you don't have to deal with it.
Khabib was serious. You don't think Khabib's ever seriously considered?
No, not really. But also, I don't know what he said after the fight. Like, what did he say?
Well, no, I mean, it was a lot of shade thrown. Like the fact that
okay. Okay. Are you talking about the tweet?
Yeah, the tweets and then
okay.
Like how
okay. I'm gonna
in and of itself says stuff.
James, I'll tell you what, man, and I'm sure Khabib didn't write that. He didn't tweet that. His freaking what is it?
Oh, you think
agent?
You think Ali was the one that did it? So.
Yeah, Khabib would never say that. He's too respectful. He's not gonna. Come on.
You don't think Khabib would collude? Like, no, Khabib and Conor, man. Like it goes. There's levels to this. So you don't think Khabib you don't think Khabib would say no, Ali? I don't want that. You don't think he could tell Ali not to do that?
He probably could. He could. I don't know. I just don't think Khabib said that. And also, it doesn't even sound like him.
No, it does kind of. The fact that Conor supposedly abandoned training partners that made him champion.
No. See, that's a thing too. Conor didn't do that. He's always been with the same crew.
And then like training with kids because there were photos of him and his son like eating gym together. That just so you don't you're probably right by it, but like
no, Khabib doesn't have that. He doesn't have that level of disrespect, and because that's a calculated kind of a way of trash talk. Khabib doesn't even he doesn't trash talk at all. Yeah. All he does is just use the word smash. That's it.
Yeah, and well, because following his Instagram, like he has a lot. He just has so much going. He's developing this workout app called Octagon. He's doing like his own Eagle MMA, like Eagle MMA. He has his own promotion, dude.
Yeah,
he just has so much going for him. And the one thing I wish he hadn't done was like made it a conceded retirement. I knew it was very emotional. He was probably pre-calculated, but what if it, what if he didn't retire right in the moment? Just say, hey, I did this one for my dad. I'll revisit this one later. And he kind of unceremoniously retired now, or after this fight. It's a game of what if. So ball prediction, I think 6 months, there's a 6-month window in which he may or may not vacate his belt. Do you think he's gone for good? And do you
I think a champion has up to a year.
A year?
Either that. I don't know if it maybe not a year, but like
a year because
but a year to fight. So that means he's got at the most he's got like maybe 9 months to sign a contract to fight. If you're an active fighter in the rankings and you don't fight for a year, or you're not signed to fight within a year, you're off the rankings. Hence Leon Edwards. Yeah, that's another can of worms, whatever. But Khabib wanted to retire. You know why he's not retired? You know why the belt's not vacated? Because Dana he's just hanging on. He doesn't even have the Ferguson fight. That's not even a thing anymore. That can't happen. Ferguson's lost 2 in a row.
Funny you mentioned that because the
But yeah,
antidote
no,
to
he's
Conor McGregor, the antidote, the ultimate antidote. So to put a bottle on the Conor, the Khabib thing, I
yeah.
think he will retire. I don't think this is a man that's gonna come back. Would not be. I would not be sad at all if he decided to come back one freaking last time to make it 30-0. And the only person I could see him doing that against, honestly, at this point, is the winner of whoever fights Dustin Poirier for the lightweight title, assuming they don't just give it to him if he doesn't. So there's so many different things. Let's move on. The future of UFC as we know it. A lot of events coming up in the next few months. March is gonna be such fun. Like March 6th.
Yeah,
that's 3 days before my birthday, and that is the best birthday present I could have ever gotten from Dana White. We have.
Wait. You said we're moving on from the Conor and Poirier thing?
Yeah, we're moving on. We're moving into the future. Basically, what's going to happen?
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, we'll do that. But you said something. You had a theory, or you had something. You had an idea of what Conor's going to.
I do.
What's next for him?
I think this kind of sets up the perfect kind of redemption fight for both of these fighters. In that, not the way that I would have wanted to see it. I would have wanted to see this for like a championship bout fight. But I think this perfectly sets up, and I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think Conor's next fight.
Tony Ferguson.
Yes, he's gonna be against Tony Ferguson.
I thought you were gonna say Nate. I thought you were gonna say Nate Diaz.
See, but that's the second. That's number 2. I think immediately, Nate Diaz hasn't fought in a while. It's just they have it's like we've been saying, they have that in their back pocket. They can just whip that out at any time.
Yeah,
I don't think they should whip it out just yet because Tony Ferguson has lost 2 fights.
That's in the back pocket. We've talked about this before. Conor, Nate 3 in the back pocket, and now you have Conor Poirier 3. Like that card can be drawn out whenever. Say that later. So you're thinking Tony Ferguson?
Yes, because it kind of both of these fighters badly need kind of a redemption arc, a redemption fight to kind of bolster them back up at a chance at a title shot. Because
or just lightweight relevance. Dan, there's no easy fights, man.
No, not anymore.
When you're in the top 5 in lightweight, there ain't no easy fights.
That just and Dustin winning kind of cements that even more. Like, hey man, like I think just about anybody can beat anybody sans Khabib. It's just a totally different level. What do you think is the future of Conor? Like, what's his immediate?
Dude,
like, to me, it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense to make Tony Ferguson the next fight. Like, Tony would take it. Conor would definitely take. And like,
Ferguson, he's gonna fight top notch competition no matter what. Like he's gonna. Oh man, it's just rough, dude. There's just no fight that Conor. There's nothing for him that's not like as the main conductor of the Conor McGregor hype train. Myself, I'm kind of like overprotective thinking about this. Like I want him to get. First of all, there's no easy fight, but I want a fight that Conor McGregor will for sure win.
There's none.
I just want him. I just want the momentum. But Ferguson, that would be good. I'm just scared because Ferguson is scary. He's that dude. That man's a maniac. I bet Oliveira would take the fight just because you fight Conor McGregor. That's the lottery ticket.
But
so I mean, I thought it was going to be Nate, but I don't want to see Conor fight. Like I saw Nate beat him once, and that second fight was that fight was close, man.
Wasn't Dustin Poirier slated to fight Nate Diaz at one point, and it fell through?
Yeah, just like how Khabib was slated to fight Max Holloway. That would have been wild. And can you imagine? I don't know if you remember that, but Max Holloway was kind of like a last second kind of like fill in. This is back when he was featherweight champion, and the reason why the fight couldn't go on was because of all people, Max Holloway was the one that had weight issues because he was like 170 pounds at the time. I don't know. That's a good one. Tony Ferguson makes a lot of sense. I was afraid it was going to be Nate, but no, you're right. Tony Ferguson, that would be it, man.
Might yet be
scary.
Nate is unranked But just in the realm of fighters, in the realm of ranked fighters, I feel like Conor should still be fighting ranked fighters. If we're being honest, like
Yeah, because he's on a mission. He's on a mission for he wants this is his title run. It's got to it's got to
So
be
who?
Ferguson.
Who would you predict that he's gonna fight? Dana.
At first I thought it was Nate, but now hearing you saying Ferguson, it makes plenty of sense because a win against Nate Diaz is just another high profile win, but that's not going to move your ranking. The only way if you want to be that top contender, you got to fight. Yes, fight Ferguson or Oliveira. I just don't think Oliveira is just not a big enough draw. I think Oliveira or Chandler should be fighting Poirier for the title or the interim title.
Correct. I thought you were. I was worried a little bit. I thought you would say Oliveira is not a big enough. Is not a worthy candidate for McGregor.
I'm saying Oliveira or Chandler. I'd rather Chandler. I think Chandler Poirier should be that fight for the title, but for Oliveira needs to just chill, like sit back for a little bit. It's unfortunate, man. He's a stud, but just not that name.
I don't know. Of all the names, Khabib was impressed with. He said he's kind of been hinting at, Oliveira is the only one that kind of intrigues me, just because of the difference in grappling and like styles. I mean, not to put Oliveira on his level at all, but it's just insinuating that I think Khabib is mildly, to say that he's even mildly interested in Oliveira to a lot of MMA fans. It's like, whoa, like, oh, there's a shot there.
That's wild. We never mentioned Justin Gaethje in this conversation.
About him. I was gonna mention him. Like, I feel the next logical step for Michael Chandler is Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's a good one.
Next logical step. Like, I feel like it's style wise, it's a perfect. I
don't know, man, but with recency bias, it's got to be Chandler Poirier. Maybe Gaethje should fight. I think Gaethje should fight Oliveira then.
You think it?
You got to think recency bias, man. Like, this is fresh in our minds right now. The Michael Chandler and that sick promo.
I know, but
look, I don't know. Hey, you know what? Hey, either way, I'm happy with all of it.
In 3 rounds, damn near breaking his arm, damn near breaking the guy that was gonna fight Khabib. This guy has catapulted himself up there.
Yeah.
The most submission wins in UFC history. Like, say what you want about him, man, but like, he's coming. He's on a mission.
But as far as title contender, clear cut is
Oliveira. Sure.
Oliveira, but clear cut number one contender right now is Poirier, so we can both agree on that. Yeah.
But you think it'll be Chandler that fights him for the belt?
I think Chandler. Yeah, Chandler.
If Dana even
because also think about
just doesn't give it to Poirier, basically. Do you think they have to fight for it? Do you think a fight has to occur for it?
What do you mean?
I mean, Dana's definitely going to do it, but do you think there's a chance that if and when Khabib fully retires and vacates his belt, they're not just going to give it to Poirier?
No. They got to fight for it, dude. Come on,
you think
now.
That would be Chandler?
Yeah.
My prediction, I think it's over.
Oof. Okay.
I think it's it.
Okay.
Just because, I don't know, stylistically, it's Chandler may have the fireworks, but Oliveira just has complete. I don't know. Maybe it is recency bias, just because. Dude, like, I've never seen Ferguson. He made Ferguson do involuntary yoga. That's how like.
Involuntary yoga. Yeah.
Down the line in lightweight, there's also Islam Makhachev that I wanted to see fight. That guy,
man, you love these Dagestani dudes, man.
Dude, man, like it's
no, I mean they're on the come up. I just don't know as much.
He has I think it's interesting. Like, let's see how far this combat sambo camp can go. There's a lot of intrigue there for me, at least.
Yeah, if you rank 13, that you're 3 fights away from a shot. So we got a while to talk about this guy.
I would have wanted to see the fight with him and Rafael dos Anjos. Perfect. Because I wanted to see it. I wanted to see the jiu-jitsu versus like Russian sambo.
Oh, sambo, yeah. Well, they say if sambo was easy, they would just call it jiu-jitsu.
Yikes. All right, so that's kind of lightweight. That's how I see things going. Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, Oliveira, Poirier, Conor McGregor type Tony Ferguson. What
Yeah,
like
what a
what a
lineup.
stack. And then like you have Dan Hooker who ate it. What's your opinion on that fight? Like how it went? Did you see Hooker? I thought Hooker was gonna take it. I really thought Hooker had the
Nah,
reach, and the way he
yeah,
was circling around, it seemed like he had a game plan. But at some point, you got
nah,
to go
man.
out, and Chandler
Look,
just
yeah.
landed.
Hey, man. Chandler's not known for his knockout power. I'll tell you that, dude. This guy is just, he's just a consistent, steady,
He's a wrestler too,
tough. He's a wrestler, and
out of Missouri, I
he,
think.
he just I don't know where he wrestled from, but I mean he's just like that good, consistent, like that guy that's just elite,
Yeah.
like just that standard elite dude. I didn't think he's not known for his knockout power, and this dude, I was shocked,
Is that
man.
the best? Is that the best debut ever? Is that the best UFC
Oh,
debut
nah,
ever?
that's no, that's tough to say. No, no, no. I mean, it's comparable if you think about a former champion. This dude was loyal to the Bellator brand for however many years, and it's hard to just come into UFC. Like, yeah, you could say that. I mean, I'm only saying that. Speaking of recency bias, yeah, it's up there. There's probably others though
Does
that
someone
are
like a
more.
Michael Chandler put legitimate fear in the eyes of the top
Oh yeah,
weights? So does he?
oh
Does
yeah,
should realistically would Dustin or Connor or
absolutely.
Justin? I, I haven't UFC my again. It is very much recency bias, but hey man, I'd love to see it. Like it'd be great.
Yeah. And also he's kind of I don't want to say he's boring, but he's just respectful, to the book kind of guy, and that's why like what did it for me was that was that dang promo that I won't shut up about. It was so good.
See, that's where you're feeling me in the no gaps spot. I didn't know. I thought he was actually always like. I didn't know that he would.
No, he doesn't talk like that. He's one of those fighters that's like, he's very competitive. Good fight. I have a lot of respect for him. I want to thank my team. He's one of those guys, like just a gentleman.
Yeah.
Good looking dude too. I gotta say. And you could definitely do your laundry on his abs. Like if you wanted to, if your laundry machine it wasn't working, you could just use the, you got a stain or something, get a little soap and just like on his abs.
Yeah. You had my room. You had the people in my couch on my couch. They're talking about like perfect abs and Dan Hook with things, and Chandler just comes in with.
Can you imagine what it's like to have abs? One of these days. I mean, you're definitely en route.
I'm on the way. It'll be like at least another.
Yeah. You might be on the. There might be some traffic, and you're on the far right lane right now. But I mean, you'll get there eventually.
Hey man,
you drop 30 pounds. I can use some abs, dude. If I had some abs, I would just wear crop tops like it's the 80s.
And
purposely
all about the 4-pack.
Chael's on. You used to have a 6-pack.
Who also used to have a 6-pack.
Yeah,
he's enjoying.
Dude, Saturday night, I used to have a 6-pack too, man. But after I saw that Chandler knockout, I downed 2 beers really quick, man. I'm like, crazy, By fight time, that 6-pack was gone, dude. 6 beers deep.
So that's lightweight, the most exciting.
Okay.
Most exciting. We can just get into it a little bit. We got Overeem versus Volkov next week.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fun. And February 13th, we've got Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. I didn't know this stuff was happening. It seems like, all these matchups that you kind of have in your head, they all seem to come to, they all seem this. Well, what am I trying to say? Saturday just seems like a huge data dispersal where they're just like, okay, yeah, this is happening. This is happening. This is happening. I didn't know Usman and Burns was a thing.
Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's.
I don't know how long it's been a thing, but
Burns is he's a clear-cut #1 contender. Fight just because of what he called Corona. These fights just kind of like appear in front of us because we're still going. We're still somewhat going through this. Not somewhat. We're still going through a global pandemic. So I think we still have that. There's that element of surprise when something that is expected already gets announced, and you're like, oh shoot, yeah, that's right, that is supposed to happen. Oh wait, they have a date for that. Yeah. But yeah, that was always slated. That should be a real a slobber knocker, as I like to say.
And lost to Jorge Masvidal years ago.
Who?
Jorge
Who lost to him?
Kamaru.
No, he didn't. Usman?
Yeah, seems like
No, he never lost. No, he never lost to Masvidal.
in his second fight of his professional career, UFC welterweight Kamaru Usman suffered his one and only defeat.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Masvidal, dude.
Jose Canseco. Is he? He's not undefeated. He's not. He's undefeated in the UFC.
Who?
Kamaru Usman.
No, I think he lost the fight early in his dude. Oh man. Oh no, he didn't. Oh, he's only lost one fight.
Yeah, one.
Oh, Jose Caceres. Yeah, the older brother to Alex Caceres. Alex Caceres is a fight.
Doesn't it seem like he's undefeated though? Just as far as
no, yeah, it seems like. Come on, also like you're looking at Jose Caceres is a guy that doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. This is early in Usman's career. I think he lost by submission. I remember when Usman was on the Joe Rogan podcast, he went through that fight and he was like, dude, because I think he was, in the middle of the submission, he's like, dude, I'm about to tap out. I can't believe this. But I guess, I mean, look, he's not undefeated his record wise, but if you're undefeated in the UFC, you're undefeated, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Like, okay. So that fight alone, there's three. Kevin Gastelum's fighting middleweight. That'll be fun.
Who's he fighting?
And Chris Weidman. He's fighting. Gastelum's fighting Ian Hinkich.
Okay, I don't know who that is, dude. Gastelum, this dude. I mean, the guy that he lost to last, I never heard of him. The guy is obviously a good fighter, but I never heard of him. And then Gastelum gets freaking submitted. That's another dude. Like, I don't know. And who'd you say? You said Uriah Faber, Chris Weidman?
No. Uriah Hall and
Chris Uriah Hall. Uriah Faber. Uriah Hall. Dude, I got the perfect stipulation for that fight. What should be on the line? Actually, what's going to be on the line that's going to be beneficial to both of them? Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman. You want to hear it? The loser retires, right? And the winner retires. What do you think, dude? What do you think?
Damn. Oh,
what do you think?
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Anyway, so there's that. I mean, Usman and Burns, that's something to look forward to. I feel like Burns is I don't feel so strongly about him anymore, especially against Usman. But
who did Burns beat that put him there? Oh, he beat Woodley. He beat Woodley. This is like that was the first Woodley like devastating like domination. Because like Colby dominated Woodley, but it just like it's not the same when it's already happened prior. But yeah, Gilbert Burns was he was kind of the dude that kind of with the Woodley win beating Gilbert Burns would put Woodley right back in the mix. But
I definitely think he's big enough, like physique. Yeah,
Burns like
we're looking at welterweight. Dude, that guy's big, and Kamaru is big. That's the problem. Kamaru, I think he just towers. I mean, outside of Woodley, I mean. But even compared to Woodley, Usman is just like different. Dude, Usman is just he's just a gnarly guy. Like even against someone like Colby Covington, which by the way, what's his shtick now, dude? What is
what is he gonna do now? Like what? What is the next act? Oh man, that was so
Is he gonna go all in for Joe Biden and just like, hey,
I don't know, man. Oh yeah, he's gonna be like some guy that's about
super
like
Captain America patriot, just like, hey man, like hey, I'm all about America. He could,
man. I'm gonna really. I mean, he can keep it going, but it's just not gonna have the same effect, man. I'm really gonna miss that MAGA hat with his cheap suit and the old UFC belt, not even the current one, like the one that he, when he was interim champion, just carrying that thing around, holding with the Donald Trump Jr. book. Oh man, I'm gonna miss that.
So there's that. I mean, there is also Black Beast versus Latest. Yeah. See, just the way you. Curtis, man, he's one of those fighters that annoys you.
Look, Curtis Blades, he's more than hey, it's one thing. Something really impressive. Like Khabib has this about him. GSP has this about him. Something about a fighter where you know exactly what they're going to do and they can still execute it. You know exactly what their game plan is and they can still get you. That's something very impressive about Curtis Blades. But also, oh man, Derek, please just knock this dude out.
Knock him out.
just knock him out, please. Like, you get this, like, Derek Lewis, his takedown defense is like just good enough. But I mean, Derek Lewis. Oh, what's his name? Curtis Blades. He goes for a shoot. Derek, Lewis can just throw a nice little uppercut or something. Just like get this guy. I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
No,
I just want the Black Beast to win, man. That's our boy, man. That's our boy.
Hey, man, he got a title shot. You remember? Don't ever forget that. He actually legit got a title shot against Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, he got a title shot from a fight that he was losing every minute of the fight, and in the last 10 seconds, threw a Hail Mary, knocked the guy out.
I was with you for that, right? It was.
Yeah, we watched it. It was Khabib McGregor.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like the third fight or something.
You're telling me, you're telling me my balls is hot. It happened the same night as Conor getting choked out? Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think so because remember the end of that pay-per-view was left such a bad taste in everyone's mouth because it was just such an ugly ending with the brawl and all that. And I don't know, dude. We got to fact check this, dude. You're gonna have listeners talking about like these guys don't want to.
Yeah, it was 229. Jesus.
Yeah, we were there, dude. We almost died, man. Died laughing. That dude stole the show. This is like he doesn't look excited at all. He just got the fight done. He takes his shorts off. Joe Rogan's like, "Hey man, why'd you take his?"
Right. Yep. Good luck, Derek Lewis. Honestly, and next fight after that week, I won't get into it. Dominic Reyes. I don't care. I really don't care. The week after, March 6th, 3 title shots.
Oh. 3 title fights in one card?
Yes. Oh.
Really? Is that the Blachowicz Izzy?
Blachowicz Izzy, Amanda Nunes, Megan Anderson, and then Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. Like all 3.
Oh, that's right. Aljo's finally getting his title shot. You know what's crazy, man? There's 3 title shots, which is crazy. I think that's only happened once, maybe twice ever, in UFC history.
It did happen. It happened last year.
Okay.
You remember, right? It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No.
No, it was. Well, no. Okay. I take it back. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. No, I remember once. It was.
If you want to count interim champion as
no, it counts. Yeah, that definitely counts.
Yeah. Okay. So interim champion lightweight Gaethje, Tony Ferguson. You had Peter Yan and
Aldo.
Right? And then you had what was the third? Max Holloway and Volkanovski. Yeah, there you go. Geez.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude. Before that, here let's do a little trip down trivia lane. It was a GSP Bisping. What's his name? Dillashaw, Garbrandt, and then young Jacek, somebody else. Oh, young Jacek Rose won. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, Rose.
Oh, what a time.
Rose is getting the Weili Zhang fight this year, no doubt.
Oh, please. But dang, there's 3 title fights.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? There's 3 title fights, which is crazy in its own right. But they're gonna sell like half of what Khabib and what Conor Poirier is gonna sell. That just goes to show the magnitude of stardom. But that's wild, dude. 3 title fights.
I don't know. I might treat myself. No, but the way this last pay-per-view went, like, I don't know if I want to risk the money again. Like, I mean, not to suggest that.
Yeah. James, first off, just make it clear, like you happily pay for these pay-per-views every time you watch it. Okay, come on now.
Yeah, I pay to go to.
You really made it sound like you might stream. Come on, dude. We know you don't.
But at night, wow, just like light heavyweight, the best woman fighter of all time.
Oh yeah,
Israel Adesanya, up and comer. You have any early predictions for those? I feel like it's pretty.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you got Nunez, and I'm sure you got Nunez.
Who does dude? Nunez.
Yeah, I got Nunez. The other title fight I don't really know about, but I mean, and then the light heavyweight, you got to go with Izzy, man. Blachowicz. Yeah, sorry, dude. Izzy's gonna. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's an easy fight. I'm just rooting. I'm rooting for Izzy just so he can have that belt and be like, "Hey, John, look what I got."
I think he can do it. It's just one of those kind of like kind of like Conor and Poirier, kind of like Gaethje and honestly Khabib. Well, I didn't have a doubt, but it was like that nervous factor. Like, not that I'm nervous for this fight. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's not a foregone conclusion. But Peter Yan, definitely, I take over Aljamain at this point. I don't. The way that guy punches at bantamweight, Cejudo better stay. Like, I don't see it. I don't.
I mean, if Cejudo comes back, first of all, he's gonna fight at 155. Seeing the way he's been looking lately.
You imagine imagine him fighting at 155. That's crazy.
He'd probably do fine.
Would he really?
Okay. No, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Triple C, man. You can't tout Triple C.
King of Cringe meets the King of Ireland.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. And then Amanda Nunes, Megan Anderson. Dude, that's when I saw that, like I nearly lost it. Like I could not believe that was all one. I wouldn't be surprised if at this point they chose to segment some of. Let's do title shots back to back.
Yeah.
3 5-round fights back to back to back.
Yeah.
The week after, you have Leon Edwards and Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh yeah.
That'll be fun. You probably pulling for Chimaev.
Yeah. Leon Edwards needs to be a little. I don't know. He's had the worst luck, but also like I don't know. Like I'm also.
It's better for the division if.
I love the hype. I like the hype trains. Okay, and especially the hype trains that are booked properly. You know, not like someone like Darren Till. Like I love Darren Till, but he shouldn't have gotten that title shot like that. The UFC should have done a better job building that dude up, easing him into it. You know, and they're doing it right with this. Yeah.
Khabib's evil twin.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what everyone is. That's everyone's shtick with Chimaev. People are kind of projecting Khabib onto him just because they somewhat have similar. They look similar a little bit.
Kind of. I mean, they only talk exactly the same. Their voices sound exactly the same.
Kind of the same. Like
their accent. Yeah.
Khamzat's a little taller, and he does smash people. He has the same.
And you know what? And also, Khabib would probably beat him. That fight would never happen though.
Okay, so I got Chimaev there. That'll be fun. I don't, I'm going by Google right now, and they don't show me any of the undercard. And then the week, and then March 27th, dude, 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
you got 3 title weights, 3 title shots. Edwards versus Chimaev, and UFC 260 with Stipe Miocic fighting Francis Ngannou. I didn't think it was gonna be that quick. I did not.
It should have been sooner. Come on, Stipe hasn't fought in time.
But it just wasn't announced or anything. It wasn't. You would think the heavyweight title would have been announced at least 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. So that means training camp.
Yeah, I mean, Francis is not. He's not the type to. I mean, he obviously deserves a title shot, but he's not. He's not like campaigning for it through social media or anything. And Stipe is not going to campaign for anything. He's busy. He also has another full-time job. He's a first responder.
So I think I'll phrase the question like this, Eric. Who would you like to see lose to John Jones more?
Dude. We might have talked about this last. Either way, last podcast. It doesn't matter. It's gone. But can you imagine? You're in a title fight to be the baddest. The heavyweight title. You're considered the baddest man on the planet. You worked all this. You worked this much to make it here. What?
The interim heavyweight champion.
It's not even that. It's not even like you're not. You have a shot at the heavyweight title. Stipe can defend his title and cement himself as as temporarily the greatest heavyweight of all time, because he's that already right now. Francis can get his revenge. He lost to Stipe, a couple years back. Like this is such a big deal. But the winner, it's one thing. Like the winner, you get the title, but you gotta fight John Jones. That's not the prize. That sucks, dude. John Jones has had 0 fights at heavyweight. The greatest fighter of all time. That's your prize. You got to fight John Jones. That's rough, dude. Who would I rather see?
If you beat him,
yeah.
that's.
No, it is. I just don't look, man. Last time I was this confident with you was when we were talking about Ferguson. What is it? Ferguson Oliveira. Yeah. Look, anything can happen. Anything can happen in MMA.
Just not happen. John Jones, like, hey man.
Just not against John Jones. Who would I rather see? It doesn't matter. I love both Francis and Stipe. It's a good story. Either one that wins, it's a good outcome. I'm not gonna choose. I'm just gonna.
How insane would it be if Miocic defended against Ngannou and John Jones?
Then he would be the greatest of all time. But come on, dude. I will mourn for them. I'll put out a few candles. I'll say a little, like a little. I'll meditate for them. But it's gonna be a good fight. It's just
who do you have between Miocic and Ngannou?
To be, I think
I don't think.
Ngannou.
I don't. Yeah. Really?
I think Ngannou pull. I think Ngannou pulled off. Either way,
I think Stipe is just too.
because Stipe, he's one fight away. He could retire now, or he should. You know, I thought he was going to retire after defending against DC. Yeah, I'm just gonna go.
Would you like to see fight? I mean,
who do I want to see them fight more? I'd rather. I think.
You think Ngannou would be a better fight against Jones than Stipe would?
Yeah, just because Ngannou, like Stipe is obviously capable, but something freaky and scary about that guy. That's not all right, man. That's not okay. I think he's tied with like Rumble Jones. He's tied with somebody, but the most knockouts in UFC history within 2 minutes.
Fighting at 259, and John Jones is gonna be
whatever it is. It's just like, dude, like Ngannou could knock you out from a punch that you blocked. You know, like you could have your hand up, and he could punch your hand, and he'll knock you off from that. Like it's scary, man. And I think that would be more impressive if John Jones beat him.
It gets me so pumped to think about John Jones. It's gonna happen this year, right? Like,
yeah, that dude, John Jones looking thick lately too. He's putting on some muscle.
It would happen this year, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, this heavyweight fight's happening in March.
Yeah, maybe July. You know,
July. That quick of a turnaround?
I don't know. It just, dude, it sucks. We're talking about the heavyweight. We're talking about a heavyweight title fight, and what's more intriguing to us is the fight after. I think that kind of it goes the same for everyone else too.
I mean, when Jones is involved, like, I mean, what? I mean, you blacks on Curtis Blaze, but he's number 2. Say he wins against Derek Lewis, that could be like, hey, who knows?
No, ain't nobody cutting John Jones in for the, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the immediate future of the UFC. Anything else I didn't think about? My one antidote was Conor and Tony Ferguson. Not under the circumstances that I would have wanted, but hey, maybe this one would be even more desperate. Like, okay, with that right there, one last question, or one of the last questions for you. Who needs it more? Between Conor and Ferguson. If they fought each other, who needs it more? Because I know who you want to win personally, but like
who needs it more?
Who absolutely needs that fight more, because in my opinion, I feel like Conor needs it way more.
I still think Conor needs it more.
Conor needs it way more to keep that allure about it, because if
because every fight he loses, even the exciting, it's just like it takes away from the. You know, there's going to be a little less pay-per-view buys next time Conor fights. There's going to be a little bit less.
If that, I'm making a bold prediction. I think that's the fight they're going to go with. It hasn't been speculated or announced. I think that's what they're going to go with. And I can tell now, like you're the week of, you're just going to be like,
it's just Ferguson's it sucks, man. Like his whole aura about him is gone now. It's not, you know, he'll be competitive and he's scary. He's just gone. And
if he knocks
Conor needs it more. It'll do more. It's gonna do more for Ferguson, but Conor needs this win more if they fight.
When they fight, it's inevitable.
Or when,
for me.
Sure,
it's inevitable. Like it's such a perfect. It's the perfect matchup. Like. It makes sense. I could go on and on about it. And
well, Conor needs that win. If Conor wins, then he moves on. If Ferguson, I don't know, and also if Ferguson loses, you've lost 3 in a row, but he still has fights and time to build himself back.
It's not to see three in a row for someone who hadn't lost 8 years. For 8 years solid, it's just like it's a tough row. And this fighter was one. All he had to do was say no to Gaethje, and we might be sitting at a different spot.
And also he also could have said no to doing a weight cut twice. I know that was a factor. Like you can't argue that.
How stressed are you gonna be when that fight gets announced? Like when?
Which one?
How stressed are you gonna be for that? Like that's gonna be such a Conor and Ferguson. I'm really sold on it. Like I've been thinking about it for 2 days. This is the perfect time to make it happen. It could have been under different circumstances. If both have won, we'd be talking about a championship. Can you imagine if both had won? Like Gosh, it's
Oh.
so disappointing. But this is the fight game. This is why it's so beautiful. It's like anything can happen.
Yeah,
And
and that's why like they always say that's why it's different than boxing. Like if you lose one fight in boxing, you're considered a bum. You lose a fight in MMA, it's just like it's just a bump on the road, and you just come back. You know.
well, not only that, but the game is just always evolving. Like you can
Yeah.
even see it. I hate to say it, but Connor, he looks the same. He looks like the same Connor. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Just kind
Poirier
of just
doesn't
like
look the
yeah.
same at all as he did years ago. Poirier has clearly evolved. He's attacking a little more. He has grappling underneath. He wanted to guillotine Connor, supposedly. He had him
Yeah.
up against the fence. He had to and Connor kind of waved it off, but it did take a while for Connor to kind of, oh, the Warriors just won. That's cool. Um, yeah, that night was so. I was so deflated by that night. I could tell. I texted you. It's like, how's the feeling in the room? And it's like 3 hours later, you're like depressed, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, I was already in my.
I was like, at that point, I played Battlefront till 4 in the morning, and then I neglected to see that Curry just broke Reggie Miller's 3-point record this game.
Well, it's not a record. I think he passed Reggie Miller, so I think he's
Yeah.
second all time.
Yeah, he's second all time now. Ray Allen is another
Jeez,
one.
he's gonna. Oh my god, dude, he's gonna pass Ray Allen with with like 3 to 5 years more left in his career. No one's gonna catch Curry. Oh jeez.
Hopefully Curry. Well, basketball, that may be the whole nother thing, man. Well, very
Yeah.
quickly, I think it's worth mentioning a little bit. Totally different sport, but who do you have for this weekend? Sunday.
Next weekend? Oh, you mean the next football game? No, it's actually the weekend after. For whatever reason, it's 2 weeks.
Give him a
It's
bye. I mean, it's the most.
it's 2 weeks in between it. They've always done that.
It's more violent than freaking UFC, man. That's already been concluded.
Yeah. It's constant head trauma when you're in the NFL.
Football. Greg Hardy fought recently. Boy, did he lose. Man, that was.
Did he lose? I don't know.
Got rocked. But,
oh well.
Yeah,
who do I got? I mean, I'll tell you. I don't know about who I got. I'm just gonna tell you who I want Bucks to win. Of course, I've been a hardcore, longtime Bucks fan since 2020. As soon as Tom Brady was traded, and before that, I was a hardcore, long-time Patriots fan. I don't gamble. I don't gamble. Never have. I might throw a $5 bill in the penny slots in Vegas every here and there. But I put down. I don't mean to brag, but I said screw it. Because my cousins they go through. I don't know how they do their gambling, but I was like, hey man, the Bucks were an underdog. I was like, hey, I'm gonna send you $25, man. Can you put in a bet for me? $25, right?
Get some skin in the game.
Oh yeah. I won. It's safe to say I won $36. I got the Bucks, man. Mahomes is gonna be. He's going to be great his whole career. He's got plenty of Super Bowl chances, and let's come on, Tom Brady, one more, man. Just the old like the Chiefs are a superior team. If you look all the way team by team, but come on, let's do one more for Brady. By the way, his 10th Super Bowl.
10th Super Bowl.
Hasn't LeBron, right? LeBron went to the finals 10 times.
LeBron went 11 at this point. What 10?
Yeah, I think LeBron's 10.
LeBron, and I mean, this could be another year where Tom Brady wins yet another championship.
Yeah, who do you got?
I got Patrick.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're the favorite. Rightfully so, they're the favorite.
They're not a huge favorite against this team because Tampa Bay's defense, like,
I
don't know if you saw.
You could say Tampa Bay's defense saved the game. They
threw 3 picks. At the end.
Yeah, Tom Brady threw. Hey, you know what? Yeah, Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's not 3 interceptions is never good, but I just think from a biased fan standpoint, I think Tom Brady kind of just did it to keep the stat line consistent.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's like
it'll be man, but this is so unfortunate. Like the years, last year, LA played Miami in the finals, and no fans could be there, and it wasn't in their respective arenas. This is the only year the Super Bowl is being played in the same arena as of a home team or whatever,
or one of the teams. Yeah, it's
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, because these arenas or the location is predetermined already every year.
This is the first
So
time
I think
Tampa Bay is going to
that's
be.
cool.
Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, Tampa Bay's gonna have home field advantage with all the 20% capacity of fans. Like, hey, but yeah, never mind.
Can you
That's another
imagine being
conversation for another time.
an actual Tampa Bay? Like, not to say they don't have fans, but can you imagine being just a hardcore fan for years and this is your reward? Like, this is such a glorious. Can you imagine? Like, it'd be like if I don't know what's the Tampa Bay equivalent, the Sacramento Kings, and LeBron just decided, hey, you know what? In my final year, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring AD with me, and fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You know,
yeah. Tom Brady did the same thing. He went to Tampa Bay and he brought Gronk with Gronkowski. Yeah.
Gronkowski looks great, and Tony Brown's gonna play too. The Super Bowl prediction, you have the GOAT, right? You have.
I'm gonna have the goat. Yeah, the goat's taking it, and then you got you got you got my homie, your homie, right? I can't believe how are we talking about football? This is
it's a good quarterback show. It's like I mean, Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady was the first time they'd ever placed in this in the.
Yeah, what about and then before that it was Drew Brees, Tom Brady. We were spoiled, man.
We were spoiled, but you know, like, of all the years for this to happen, it had to happen with minimal fans. It's just
well,
but yeah.
What can you do?
Oh, I didn't even mention that. The fact that there were fans at Conor's at this fight, it just felt cool. It felt kind of
I felt a little more
which isn't something that's gonna happen at the Apex, freaking America. Like we're still trudging behind with. I don't even know how that was allowed to happen. Honestly, the people who went must have been just filthy rich. Can you imagine?
Filthy rich, dude. I mean, can you imagine living here like you're and you just decide to do a last minute like trip to Abu Dhabi, get a hotel, flight, pay for tickets. You know, tickets for two to see Conor McGregor fight. That's I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. That's got to be in the tens of thousands of dollars.
I've been saving my money though. Eventually, I'm gonna shell out to go to UFC.
Oh god, I thought you were gonna say a Conor fight. I'm like, hey man, I hope you started 5 years ago.
Aspiration.
Yeah, I hope you started 5 years ago to buy some standing room only tickets.
I would do a standing room only if it was reasonable enough. $500 for standing room only at a Conor fight.
Nah, dude, no. You gotta be there, dude. You gotta be there.
Anyway, so that's the MMA segment podcast for this week. I was joined by Eric Lewingraf. I had a day and a half to stew it over while Eric was also stewing it over in his depressed Conor hype train state.
Hey, you know, it's like a breakup, man. You just need a little time to think, be on your...
All right, guys. Well, that's been the Crunchy Take podcast, MMA sports-centric podcast for this week. Be sure to check us out on Spotify, all streaming platforms, and yeah, be looking for a podcast later this week with Kurt Fowler, fellow member of the Indiana Symphony Orchestra and professor of history of rock and roll at Indiana State University. Thank you for listening, guys, and take care.
Wear your mask.
Wear your mask.